Hi everyone, Harrison Kramer here. Thank you so much for being a subscriber to this channel or seeing this video. I really appreciate it. This is sort of a new thing for me, YouTube, and people watching me do the thing that I love to do. So I hope you're all enjoying it. So I just wanted to jump on today and let you know a little bit about who I am and where I came from and what I'm interested in and sort of my goals. Some of my goals, and especially with this channel and what I like to put on the internet, and hopefully you're enjoying that. So I'll talk about it. So I'm Harrison Kramer, and I am a magician, and I started doing magic professionally when I got out of college, pretty much, maybe a couple of years after. And I really started from the bottom. I didn't know too much about magic at all. I wasn't one of these people that got into it very early on in my childhood. I was actually a juggler very early on. You can see some old juggling clubs right there. I was not a juggler, but I would juggle a lot. I was pretty good at juggling. And so I went through college, in high school, kind of juggling. I knew a couple little card tricks. It's kind of adjacent to circus and juggling, which I was into. I also rode a unicycle. And then in college, I got really interested in Darren Brown. I'm sure some of you, especially if you're a magician, know who Darren Brown is. If you don't, Derrenbrown. He's a British mentalist and mind reader, influence hypnotist guy, and he really he makes you feel like it's real. And that was the thing that really got me from doing sort of juggling tricks into like magic and mind reading tricks, which is sort of adjacent. And it was Darren Brown. It was like, is this real? Did he just walk up to these people and convince them to think of a blue bike, and then he had a blue bike, and is this real? And in the end, it turns out that probably it's not real, but it is real in a certain sense. It's presented to feel like that's what happened. But this really led me down the rabbit hole of magic. I started getting into it. I learned that there was magic books and a magic community and magic shops and different genres of magic. And I sort of slowly got into this over 6, 7 years until 2015, when I became a full-time magician, not doing any other work. And I did a lot of kids parties and family parties and kind of cut my teeth on just a lot of events where you're just the magician at the event. And I started doing more and more corporate events as time went on. And then in 2020, the pandemic happened, and I got to do a bunch of Zoom shows. So I got to be here in my studio that I made in my basement, doing magic shows for groups all over the world, like groups of 10 and groups of 1,000. I still love to do the virtual magic shows. If you want to see my virtual magic show, you go to tonightcrowd.com. I usually do it every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, but you can check that out later. So anyways, I got really into Darren Brown. I was doing a lot of Zoom shows about 10 years later, and then that was from 2020 to 2025, and then at the end of 2025, I got these Meta glasses, and I started I was coming out of doing a lot of Zoom shows, and I was really focused on, okay, what can I do with real people in the real world that I still enjoy and I find interesting. And these glasses really allowed me to capture these settings that I was in without the feeling that oh, we're setting this up to be filmed, and here's exactly how we're going to do it, and really trying to sort of capture these sort of organic reactions with real people, where it doesn't feel like we're trying to force a reaction or overblow a reaction, but we're really trying to perform in a little bit of a casual way. To let everybody, experience the magic as they really do without any of sort of outside influences or anything like that pushing upon them. So I did this a lot at Monday Night Magic in New York City in these two different locations that Monday Night Magic is. If you're ever in New York City, shoot me an email, and I will help you get tickets or direct you to get tickets to Monday Night Magic. You should come. You can see me, and other amazing performers as well there. So Monday Night Magic, and that was maybe November, December of 2025, and then in January and February of 2026, that's this year now that we're in, I started to do more magic just for random people. And this was actually something that I always kind of struggled with, was this idea of casual magic. I'd always done so many events that it was you're performing. But there's something about casual magic that is super fun and interesting, and so I started to do it on the streets with these glasses, and I seem to have a lot of success so far with it, which is totally mind blowing to me. I had no idea that people would want to watch the videos like they do. So thank you so much. But yeah, so I started making these videos. I give them weird names, just whatever it feels like in the moment that the video is about, or whatever like a good like 1, 2, or 3 word title for the video is. And I'm really not trying to, create per se like content. Like obviously I am like creating content and like putting it on the internet, and you're all liking it, and thank you so much. But I really I want to keep it to, videos. Like I press play and I press stop, and I don't put like words over the top, and I don't try and make it about like, oh, and the magician did this, and like, I've tried some of this stuff over the past 6 months, but for the most part, like I enjoy most creating these videos in just one take, and there's a lot of videos that I mess up in the middle and you don't get to see them because I messed them up, so it's like a challenge for me to create a video that I'm happy with all the way through, and then just put them out there for you all to enjoy, almost as like little pieces of art for you to consume. So hopefully we can keep thinking about it like that on this channel and in my life and in the stuff that I'm creating, and not think of it as like, content, like, oh, we gotta go out and make content, because I really don't want it to be that, and I'm not gonna let it be that. I'd rather just like, not post videos on the internet than have my life feel like I'm like trying to make more videos. But yeah, I do plan to make lots more in the future. I just got another pair of glasses, but I just try and like, take it one step at a time, because this is all very new for me. I had 1,000 Instagram followers my whole life, and now I have like 100,000, another 40,000 on here, and another 40,000 on Facebook, and it's blowing my mind. I don't even know. But you should all come to my virtual magic show, tonightcrowd.com. Doesn't matter. So thank you all so much for being here, for watching this video. And now at the end, for those of you who made it here, I will reward you. Hopefully this is a reward for you with a very simple card trick, one of the first card tricks that I ever learned a long time ago, and it's great because it still fools people. I'm not going to teach it to you in like the completeness of a card trick, but I will teach you the method, because I plan to make some videos on this channel for the general public, not part of my membership, where I do teach some of the more advanced techniques that I use to find the named cards, but just generally for the public, talk about different magic ideas and principles in magic and interesting topics. So without like explaining secrets and just like ruining the mystery, to help people better understand how magicians think, why we think that way, different techniques that we might use, and this is one of them here. So I have here a deck of playing cards, and this might not have 52, but hopefully any deck would, and it's fine if they don't. So this can be any deck, this can be your deck, this can be your friend's deck at their house, whatever it is, and all you need for this trick is to make sure that all the cards are different. And then you're going to have someone choose out a card. So like, let's have this person here choose out a card. Amazing. And they're going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it, but I'll show the camera there. Hopefully you guys all see it. I did not look. And now we're going to place it back inside the pack, and we're going to give the cards a shuffle like this. We're really going to give them a shuffle, and maybe we can even shuffle them on the table, like sort of in a really haphazard way, to make sure that they are entirely mixed. And then with that in mind, I would say almost assuredly that your card is the 7 of diamonds. Now, I didn't look. I would have to watch the video back to see if I was right, but I will just keep going, assuming that I was correct. So how does this work? Well, it's very simple, and that is that we do something called a full deck crimp. So before the trick started, I took the cards and I spread them, and I said, oh, they're all different. And then I took the cards, and in my hand, I use a spring, but you can kind of do it just like this if you want. I bent all the cards in sort of one direction. Not hard, we're not creasing them, but you see I bent them all just like this, right? And you can't tell that from, just looking at the cards, especially if I'm keeping them moving in my hand. You're not gonna be able to tell that there's like a slight bend, and even if you could tell, you wouldn't think that that had anything to do with the trick. So now a card is selected, and once the card is selected, while they're looking at it, all you have to do is take the rest of the deck and give it a bend in the opposite direction. You guys see this? So it's not like hard. I haven't like, creased the cards. It's just a little bend in the opposite direction. So now this card goes in, and they get shuffled and mixed on the table. You probably don't want anybody doing like a big old like riffle shuffle like this, but that's fine. You're in control. You can shuffle the cards as haphazardly as you want. You can even let people mix them around on the table in like a casino-style wash. None of that matters, because as long as you sort of don't disrupt the sort of bend, the slight bend that you put into all the cards, what happens is when you put a little air in the cards, like if you're holding them like this, you can't see anything. But look, if I like release a little bit of tension, very clearly right away that card reveals itself. You see, it's the only one that's slightly bent in the opposite direction. So all you have to do is keep the cards, maybe I'll go from the top view here, just go like this, and you're gonna release a little bit of tension. You're gonna look down, you're gonna see that, and you're gonna learn how to put your thumb on it and then separate the deck and cut it to the top. And I don't want to get too much into, again, magic methods here. The idea is just to teach you simple ideas and not so much instruct you to be a magician. But yeah, like once you found that break, if you hold there and then you look up at your audience and you say something and just open your hands like this, you can openly cut the deck and cut that chosen card to the top without looking. Because you've already looked here, you've seen it, and now you cut the cards. And that's it. You don't have to look after you looked the first time. And this whole not looking is something that will really help in your magic. So I hope that you enjoyed this little introduction to me and who I am and this silly little magic trick. But it's a great magic trick because you can use it anytime, anywhere, with any deck, and it fools magicians, and it's a great location. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Harrison Kramer, and I will hopefully talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.